Hey, it's Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships,
and sex.
Today, the topic is how to be a holiday hustler.
Stick with us. Don't leave. Don't leave.
Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, which is, the traditional. It's not the best holiday for players because all of our girls are either girlfriends or wives of other people. So they're busy. What is today? Galentine's Day?
Yeah.
And there's a whole different subject on Galentine's and Valentine's. But
if you're listening to this any other time of the year,
don't turn it off.
This applies to every holiday across the board. So do not turn this off just because it's not still February 13th.
Exactly. So what I want to say is no girl wants to be alone on Valentine's Day, and you can substitute any holiday
Christmas,
for that.
Thanksgiving, Shamrock
New Year's Day,
New Year's Eve, any of them.
Even if she knows meeting you is just going to be a fun, shallow, sex-filled temporary hookup, she'll be down for to avoid boredom.
Yes.
And from Halloween, I was hammering it. I was like, gentlemen, this is a good time. And literally, the basis of this, which all players learn over time, is you want to leverage timing and environment to your advantage.
1,000%.
When is a girl going to be open to, let's say, casual, no-strings sex right after a breakup?
Yeah.
Right? Or when all of her friends are out, but she's not got anybody.
Yeah.
She's open to casual, no strings attached sex.
Yeah.
So you want to learn to use timing and environment when everybody else is out and about to use that to your advantage.
Well, and something that you have to keep in mind is it's not even that they are thinking about, women aren't thinking, I want casual, no strings attached sex because I just went through a breakup or because my girlfriends are all in relationships. They're thinking, I want a boyfriend. I want someone to do stuff with. And if casual, no strings attached sex is the way to get there, that's what I'll do. It's the main catalyst for women is that we don't want to be alone. Sexual attention is our oxygen. It's our tool that we use to get your attention. So if that's what it takes to get a man's attention, it can turn into casual, no strings attached, or it could turn into the last first date she's ever been on. But the main thing is girls are horny around holidays because they do not want to be alone. It doesn't matter if it's 4th of July. It doesn't matter if it's spring break. You name it. You can leverage any and all holidays, maybe not like President's Day. That's not a sexy holiday.
But even July 4th, which I've never thought of because it's 4,000 degrees here. It's not the sexiest. Yeah. But again, girls don't want to be alone.
No.
And you can say, hey, do you want to come over and watch the fireworks from my balcony?
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yes, it beats sitting here with my brother.
Yeah. Exactly. Girls want to go out on your boat. They want to have somebody to cook out with. They want to put on their sexy bikini and not hang out with family because that's weird. They want to put on a sexy bikini and be out on the lake with a sexy man. You name it, you can leverage even a holiday like 4th of July to your sexual benefit.
Exactly. There's really not any holiday that you can't use because going through Halloween, Thanksgiving, the night before Thanksgiving is one of the biggest nights to score.
Yeah.
Christmas, it's a romantic holiday. Girls do not want to be alone. New Year's.
Oh, girls want somebody to kiss on New Year's Eve
They're
night.
gunning. And January girls are determined to not be alone for the next year.
Yeah.
For whatever, so they're on the apps more. And once you start looking for this, you'll see how many opportunities there are there's a season for everything.
Yeah.
And there's going to be times when girls are not as interested, but there's going to be times where you just need to use the timing and the environment to your advantage. It's like weddings.
Yeah.
Guys go, should I go to this wedding? I'm like, hell yes, you should go to a wedding.
Right.
Because girls are horny at weddings.
Absolutely.
You know, there's alcohol involved. They're in a good mood. It's romantic. It's fun. You know, they know what's possible.
And it's every rom-com there ever was where you meet the handsome bachelor at the wedding.
Yeah.
You know, it's every girl wants to live in a movie.
Yeah. And I should have mentioned that from the very, very beginning that is a major, you have to, when you're kind of thinking about like, how do girls want to be treated?
Yeah.
They do. They want to imagine that they're in a movie.
Yeah.
You know, just kind of like social media, they're a celebrity.
Yeah.
But with you, they're living a movie. And you can make that happen for them. And it doesn't have to cost any money.
Yeah.
It just has to be unpredictable and kind of it's, once you do this for a while, it's kind of formulaic.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know.
Which is why you have the dating system book.
Exactly.
You know, period. Because you can plug in that kind of stuff and create your own formula.
Yeah, in your dating system, it's basically a blueprint of how to plug your dating habits, or you can use the ones that we suggest, into a system where you can run numerous girls through the same funnel.
Yeah.
And basically they start as strangers and they shoot out the end of your bed. And then you're putting them into an Uber.
You shoot something out.
Yeah, yeah. And then you can tweak it to your likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got money, you can go here, or if you don't, you can go there. You know, there's a number of systems. But again, a lot of this stuff, and you'll talk to players, and it doesn't take the romance away from it, and we're not trying to take the mystery or the fun out of dating, but we want you to have more certainty so you can have more fun.
Yeah.
You know, when you know the parking situation, you can focus on her. When you have reservations, you can focus on her. When you know the waiter and you've been there before, you can focus on her.
Yeah.
You know, all kinds of benefits come from having a system.
But this whole holiday, scenario is always at play at some level, because there's always a holiday, there's always a birthday, there's always a family gathering. Girls get very tired of going to places alone, and going places with girlfriends is not the same energy. So they want to be with a man. Period.
Exactly. Yeah, oh, it's huge.
So keep this in mind, because this is why Fort Worth designed the Holiday Hustle bundle of books, to really set you up to always kind of be working towards that next holiday of horny girls.
Yeah, and again, as men, we don't think about our birthday.
Right.
All of these holidays are an interruption to our work.
They're all commercialized.
We would prefer. I mean, it's just another way to siphon money and time from our very important, valuable lives that could be spent elsewhere.
But if you're dating anyway.
But if you want to, exactly. If you're getting laid or you want to get laid, it's one of those things that you can use to your advantage, and she gets to enjoy it too.
Yeah.
It's
a win-win.
Yeah, everyone benefits from you having your shit together when it comes to being a holiday hustler.
Well, truly, I think that playing on the holidays is as much about utilizing the calendar to get you laid. It's just one more step above just generally running game and generally trying to run girls through your bedroom. It's next level. It's a little bit more of an intermediate step, because there is a little bit more planning and thought that goes into it. But you can utilize the calendar to be your wingman, and it's a win-win for everyone involved. And make no mistake, we've said it millions of times before. She benefits also.
Huge. This
is not a manipulation of girls or taking advantage of them. She wants to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
She wants to have your attention. She wants to be in your bed. Everyone wins when you put the tools of game in your favor.
She wants to have that magical
Yeah.
winter's night,
Yeah.
with a mysterious man. You know, even if she's known you forever, she's like, oh, I didn't know he was like this.
Well, like I always say, yours and my first date was the perfect first date ever. It was a very carefully curated date that you had been, you know, putting through trial and error for probably 4 years by the time it got to me. It was the perfect first date. I have the best first date story. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And
everybody benefits.
yeah. Everyone wins.
And it's funny because some guys, I mean, I don't think they think down the line, because you're giving this girl a memory,
Yeah.
you know, of the best holiday she ever had.
Exactly.
And she'll take that into old age. So these are important things that are a byproduct of you doing your job and doing your role as a player or playboy, or, you know, fuckboy as it is, and using the calendar like Bunny says, using the calendar as your wingman.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
That link is in the description box below, or you can just go to Worth Playboy's Gumroad page and see all of his offerings. So if you look up the Holiday Hustle Bundle and you already own a couple of the pieces, you can fill in the gaps with others from his Gumroad main page. So just go there and check those things out. If you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and remember to make the holidays your bitch. We want you to win.